Learned. Show me. Yes, yes, yes. You know, show me what love. I can't play. I can't play anything. Welcome, 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 welcome to the doctor, aka Coach Ken, or Coach Ken, aka the doctor. You can say it any way you want to say it, but get on in here and let's make this thing work. Let's make it do what it do, and I'm gonna do what I do. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, y'all, let me know who. Let me know where you calling from. Who's in the building? Let me know where you're calling from, just so I can know who's in the building. All right, what's up, Angela? Hey, 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 how are you? All right, let me know who's in the building now. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Love, Lust, and Lies. And I'm about to look, Lisa. Hey, 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 Angela. I didn't know you lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right, Eugenia, where you coming? Where you calling in? Where you checking in from? Amy from Dallas, checking in. Yes, yes, yes. Where y'all checking in from? All right, I got an awesome guest tonight, y'all. This is going to be so good. Oh, invite your friends, your family. Listen, I need everybody who ever had been heartbroken. You couldn't get over somebody. Everybody who just, I feel like y'all, everybody should have their heart broken at least once. And we're gonna talk about that tonight because my guest, she specializes in healing a broken heart. Healing those wounds, the wounds of the past. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Welcome, welcome. Tell me where you calling in from. I mean, where you checking in from. Amy from Dallas. Hey, Lakeisha, how are you? Where you from? All right. If you are watching if you're watching the show tonight, let me know where you're from. All right. Let me know where you're from. So I'm about in like 1 minute. I'm gonna introduce our guest, and she is backstage doing what she does, doing what people do backstage. I know what they do. We'll make sure that the collar right, hair right, perfume right. I'm not perfume, but makeup, everything right. All right, Michelle from the A checking in. Conchetta, is that Conchetta checking in from North Kakalaki? All right, of course, is that Mississippi? All right, y'all. Good evening from Virginia in the building. All right, y'all. Let me tell you why we did this, what we did. Okay, we've got Latanya from Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, so the reason I wanted to do this because a lot of times people come to me that I coach, and many times a lot of them have had they're going through some stuff. Hey, Lauren, how are you? Great, 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 great. Good to see you. Um, but a lot of times, y'all, we all need healing. All right. And a lot of times we have relationships that we just can't get over. We have people that we can't get over. We have situations that we can't get over. And sometimes you need a guide. Sometimes you need someone who is going to help you in this process. All right. In this process. And so tonight, my guest came as a result of someone else that they've helped. And my guest was like, listen, she is amazing. And so I said, well, let me get her on the show. And so she's got such a sweet spirit, y'all. Let me read her bio. All right. Tanisha Johnson is an associate clinical social worker, self-care coach, and first-time author of the book entitled When Depression and anxiety have a voice. Ooh, I don't even know how she came up with that title right there, but I'm gonna ask her, y'all. All right. She specializes in emotional self-care as well as codependency. How many of us, y'all, have been codependent on someone or something? All right. Tanisha believes self-awareness can help everyone define who they are and what they need in life in order to have peace and joy. Tanisha has helped hundreds of men and women through one-on-one coaching sessions as well as her self-care workshops. Y'all, for real. Shoot, I need a, you know what she said tonight, y'all? I gotta tell y'all this before she come on. She said, Ken, I was running because I was on another call. Then I jumped on this call. And she says, Ken, we can reschedule this because I believe in self-care. And I thought to myself, isn't that just like a wonderful person right there? I mean, damn, I'm running. Hey, look, I'm running from call to call every day. All right, y'all. I want y'all to welcome Tanisha. All right, let me get her into the program. Tanisha, how are you?
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Yeah, I was reading your bio, and our mutual guest told me all about your work and what you do, and I was like, there are some people in my audience and my followers who need healing, and so tonight, can we just have some fun?
Yes,
But I know the
absolutely.
situation is sometimes it's heavy duty. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I still want to I still want to have a little lightness in it because I don't want to get caught up in all of that. But I gotta tell you this. So we're just now meeting. All right, y'all.
Yes.
We've talked
First
on the
time.
phone, but we're just now meeting. So Tanisha, I might just ask you anything. You ready for this ride?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun.
Okay,
I
cool.
think it's gonna be fun.
So tell me this. How'd you get into helping people heal from codependency and all of this, the emotional trauma or whatever you do? First of all, tell us what you do and then why you do it.
Okay, I should start off with my 9 to 5 because that's what brought me into this work. So I am a clinical social worker in my 9 to 5, and I originally just wanted to be an author. I've been
Mm.
wanting to write a book for a long time. And I promised God, I said it was so chaotic trying to figure out how to heal from codependency and dealing with depression that if I get out of it, I'm going to tell people how I did it. And so that's what I did. I wrote my book in 2019. And as soon as I wrote the book, I already had a growing audience on Instagram. It was about maybe 4 or 5 thousand people at that time. And I used to just write inspirational quotes all the time, and people really liked it. So I had like 100 pre-orders for my book before it even came out.
Oh wow.
When people got the book, then it was this automatic, oh my God, can you coach me? Can you coach me? Can you help me get to where you were at? And so that's how I got into the coaching. And I didn't want to just do it all willy nilly. I counsel people in my 9 to 5 and I have my degrees and all that stuff, but I really want to build a curriculum. So I built a curriculum from scratch and I started coaching people, and that's been it for the last 2 years. And over the last 2 years, I think I'm at like 120 or 125 people that I've coached. Crazy.
Okay. So let's back up. Okay? See, a lot of people aren't where you are today. You said if I ever get out of this situation, so I got to ask you about the situationship. All right, I got to ask you about that. So tell me this: what was the situation that got you, or the codependency and all of that got you thinking? You know what? I can use this. If I ever get out, I can use it to help somebody else because I know where I am is not where I'm going to be or want to be. So tell me
Yeah.
about the situation that got you there.
So it was a long roller coaster of just never feeling good about myself. I felt like my entire life was based on what other people needed. I was always engaged in other people's like drama and life happenings, and afterwards I would just feel depleted. And I was thinking to myself, it has to be another way to live. It has to be another way to show people that I care about them that doesn't require me to give all my energy all the time.
Mm.
And me myself, I grew up with, a single mom. My mom and my great aunt raised me. And my great aunt was sick when I was little, and so caregiving was almost like a normal thing to me. I didn't realize that you could get depressed from caregiving. And
Oh,
it's like it just funneled into like a lot of internal anger. And as we know, internal anger leads to depression. And before you knew it, I was just out of it. I literally could not get out the bed.
wow. So this whole codependency thing, I know it can happen in relationships, it can happen in romantic relationships, it can happen in not romantic relationships. Tell me
Yeah.
how a person gets codependent.
So, in order for a person to become codependent, they have to have a family structure that involves the following categories. Either your parents struggle with drugs or alcohol addiction, they had a hard time self regulating their own emotions, therefore, they couldn't support you. They had a physical disability, they had a mental health disability, they were incarcerated and were not there in the home. And what ends up happening as a coping skill, the child learns that in order for them to survive, they have to find a way to support this parent. And so
Mm.
what we find is children very early start to do very adult like stuff. It's like 5 years old trying to prepare their own meals, trying to put their own clothes on. Maybe they're even like extra helpful with their siblings. This is the child's way of trying to gain love and be seen by the parent. Well, what ends up happening if that behavior is not corrected, we grow up into adults that now have learned to believe that in order to get love from our friends, from our spouses, significant others, I have to do something. Just me
Mm.
showing up as my true authentic self is not enough.
So tell me how that translate into relationships, romantic relationships. Because I coach a whole bunch of people, and part of what I do is helping them navigate brokenheartedness, the wounds of the heart. Um, and how does that occur in relationships from your perspective?
Well, before I answer that, I just want to say that I binge watched your TikTok videos and I love, love, love what you are doing. So, anyway, so I was
Oh,
really
thank you.
excited
I
about talking to
appreciate
you
you.
today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I love your message, and it connects with mine in so many ways. The blend of it, but in a nutshell, though, in relationships, what we see is often so there's a codependent, and then there's a dependent person.
Okay.
Generally, codependents connect with people who have narcissistic behavior patterns or
Mm.
who are narcissists themselves. Um, and that happens because the codependent has all these resources. They're very giving, they're very kind, they're very loving, they're very open. And the narcissist needs that in order to survive and thrive through life. So in the beginning, it looks like this perfect blend because the narcissist is giving the codependent love, support, attention that they're not used to getting, and in return, the codependent is helping them survive, like physically,
Wow.
mentally, emotionally, resource wise, everything. And so, for a good 4 or 6 months, these two people really think that they're in love because the codependent is finally being loved, being seen. The narcissist is getting all their needs met, so everything is great. But when the codependent's cup finally gets full, that's when the light bulb clicks on like, wait a minute, this person isn't showing up in this relationship 50-50. So then they start to ask the narcissist or the other person, to show up, to help, support. And then the narcissist gets upset,
Right.
and they lay down their boundaries very well, not like the codependent who doesn't have any boundaries. So then it creates this cycle of the codependent feeling shame and guilt every time they ask for something, every time they ask for a need. And the narcissist gets tired too of always having to put the codependent, quote unquote, in their place. And so the cycle continues until one of them gets out of it. Now, most of the time, if the codependent continues to be very forceful about what they need, the narcissist will hold on to them until they find somebody else, and then they just leave them altogether.
Wow. All right. So,
Yeah.
okay. Latanya, MSW, Master of Social Work.
Yes.
That's what MSW means. Let me say this. That's deep right there. So, codependency. I've encountered it in my work, and where people come to me and they're codependent on the relationship, right? But many times when they confront the narcissist, see, narcissists that work when they gaslight you, they make you think you
Yes.
crazy, they make
Yep.
you think you little, they feel like you should be with me, you're entitled. I've worked with people who've dealt with narcissists. I've even dealt with narcissists in my work, and I was like, I can't work with you because, and I told one dude, I said, you're a narcissist, dude. I told him. Oh, he didn't like that. Oh, I didn't
I'm
like
sure. I
that.
was going to ask you, how did that go? Because
And,
they
and,
don't
and you know,
like
he
that.
started trying to defame my name, and I said, typical narcissist. What you doing?
Mhm.
You see, so because you never take responsibility. That being said, when you have a person that seems to be trapped, like some people, a codependent person with a narcissist is a deadly formula. Deadly
It
formula
is.
because the narcissist will make you feel like, or make the person feel like they gotta always try to live up, always looking for validation, always hoping to please this person, and then they're trapped in this cycle. How do you help get them out?
It's very difficult. The codependent has to come to the realization um, that they are worthy as a person, um, as a friend, as a partner, as a whatever. And that takes time because we have to heal that wound. The sad thing about codependency is codependents are people pleasers. They're kind, they're giving, they overextend because they don't want anyone to leave them or reject them. But what they fail to realize is the abandonment and the rejection has already taken place and they've survived. You know,
Mm.
it's like when your parent picked you up late from school consistently, you were already abandoned. You know, when your father left and he didn't call you, you were already abandoned. When you
Wow.
came to your mother or father, or somebody picked on you at school and they minimized you or they told you that that wasn't important, you were already rejected. And so it's like we're chasing, this love, trying to do what we can so that we don't get abandoned or rejected, but we don't realize it's already happened and we've survived.
Wow, that's deep right there. Tanisha, that's so deep. You're right. But it's almost like I'm reliving it
Yes,
constantly.
constantly. Yep.
I'm reliving this constantly when in fact it's already happened. That's what keeps the wound open, right? Because I
Yep.
keep
That's what keeps
reliving
it
it.
going.
And part of what I tell people is it's the story you're telling yourself over and over again. And you're living out the same. It's almost like, how people live out the same scene in their mind. And what I try to do is interrupt that pattern. But question for you. I wrote this down. So a person comes to you. How do you start the healing process? How does this process, from your perspective, you've already assessed they're codependent, people pleaser, they've been beat up, battered, bruised, and they don't know what to do. They just want help. How do
Yeah.
you go about your healing process?
So the first thing we have to do is we have to go back to the original wound, which stems from our family dynamics.
Mhm.
We have to go back. We have to remember those memories. What was our family structure like? How did we feel growing up? Do we feel like we were supported? You know, and from there, so it's a 5-step model that I use with my clients that I want to share with you today.
Share it
Um,
with me.
so the first step is becoming self-aware. right? Like being mindful of what you've already been through and what happened in your childhood. And then from there, we go through a period of forgiving ourselves, because when self awareness can bring on a lot of mourning, because now you realize that your entire life you've been people pleasing, not really focused on yourself. So we have to forgive ourselves so that we can start to accept that, you know what, I do deserve to be seen in my relationships. I do deserve to have reciprocity. And from there, we have to make an obligation to ourselves that no matter how hard it gets, we are going to be committed to the process. We're going to be committed to taking care of ourselves. Essentially, I focus on emotional self care because that's where the codependent lacks.
Mm. So
And
the
not
first,
just codependents, but people who struggle, with wounds in general. Normally, it falls within emotional self care.
so the so the first part is self awareness. That's the first step one.
That's
So
the
step
first
two. What's step two?
self forgiveness.
Okay, self forgiveness.
Yes.
Okay, so you go through the process of helping them forgive. And then before we jump to step three, self forgiveness is a tough one sometimes.
It
I
is.
mean that
It's
right.
really,
I can help you become aware, right? But forgiving yourself
yeah.
because you ain't you. How do you get them to do that?
You have to go through that mourning stage, of really realizing where you are and where you want to go, and I share with my clients all the time that it's okay to cry, it's okay to be depressed, because a big thing that's happening during this process is all the coping mechanisms that we've used, they're falling apart. And that's the reason why the depression is happening, because you're not people pleasing anymore. You're not focused on other people. You're not avoiding your own pain anymore. Um, and so you feel like you are literally falling apart. But that's the process of healing. That way you get a
Mm,
chance to put yourself together, you know, because we spend a lot
wow,
of time putting other people together, right?
I know that's right. I know that. That's so true. I step three. What would step three be?
Step three is acceptance.
Acceptance. Acceptance of what? Am I accepting the situation as it is? I'm accepting me.
Yeah, accepting that your life, that you do deserve to have reciprocity in your relationships, and that you do struggle with people pleasing,
Wow.
and it's a problem. you
It's
know
acceptance. Step four.
Step four is making an obligation to yourself that you are going to be committed to focusing on you. You're going to be committed to centering yourself first in all areas of your life,
All right, so
which
let's talk about that one. So
that's
that's
hard
hard
to
as
do.
hell. I mean,
That's hard to
I
do.
mean, think about it. I've been taking care of everybody else. All right. And now you telling me, put some time in, make an obligation to myself. All right.
Yes.
How do you and as wonderful as you are, I love it. How do you get them to do that?
We so in my program, what I do is, so in social work, you probably know this term too, like not just social workers, but it's called like an eco map. So an
Mhm.
eco map is like where we kind of draw all these little circles and stuff, and the person goes in the middle, and then all the different systems that we're involved in and family dynamics and friend dynamics are like all in a circle around us. So with my client, I take each person or each system that they are a part of, and I ask them, is this something that is benefiting them, or have they been benefiting the person or the people involved? And if so, how do we need to change that? Do we need to set boundaries with this person? Do we need to advocate for ourselves? Or is this something that we need to step out of altogether and reassess why we're in this relationship or this friendship in the first place?
Okay, I love it. Now I have never done the eco map myself. Maybe me and you can do it. You can do it with me. You can do it on me.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be
because
fun.
I've done a lot of different exercises. I've never done that one. Heard about it, but I'd like to go through that with you offline, and maybe you can teach me something. I love that idea. That is beautiful.
And
I,
there's so many different kinds. Like the one I do is very basic, but there's eco maps for just family structure and family diagnosis, and they really are cool. It's a really nice book.
I love it. I've heard about them, read about them, just never experienced it. And so I would love for you, the expert, to take the doctor through one of them. All right, number
Absolutely.
5. And what's the 5th way that you do your process?
Creating a self-care plan.
Okay, create self-care plan. All right.
Yes.
Now explain that to me.
So we have to start to plan out what is our new life going to look like.
Mm,
Because one thing to be mindful of is we've been doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's what the brain likes. The brain likes consistency. And so when we start to disrupt those patterns, like you were sharing, if we don't have a plan, it's not going to work because we're automatically going to go back to things that we used to do. And so we have to ask ourselves, what is this really going to look like? And for some of my clients, it gets very, it gets very sad because they don't know what life is going to look like.
right.
Is my husband going to get mad at me if I say, hey, I don't want to cook dinner every night? Are my kids going to get upset if I say, no, I'm not going to drive you all over every weekend? I want to rest. What's going to happen at my job if I'm no longer working overtime? It's like all of these unknowns start to pop up.
Right. And you know what though, in my work, which is similar to yours, the unknown is scarier than it's almost like the devil I know versus the one I don't know, because
Exactly.
it's like I know what this is, I know the level of pain that I'm experiencing, and so with that, I'm used to that pain. It's kind
Yes.
of like a person. This was no lie, because I remember years ago before I got on the show, The Biggest Loser, and and I weighed like 420 pounds, and I'll never forget.
Wow.
I told the doctor on the show, I said, truth is, I didn't know that I felt bad until I felt good.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people
Wow.
experience. They don't know
Wow.
because they managed the pain so long.
Yeah.
And I don't know, getting them out of that part, is that really difficult?
It is. It's really difficult, and what it requires is so it's interesting because when I first started, my 5-step model was it was everything to me. And then as I started going on, I realized that a big part of all of this is really the unlearning, because it's like
Mm,
we can only heal so much, right? It's like just like a wound. Like if we cut ourselves right now, you put some ointment on it, alcohol on it, or whatever, you patch it up, and then the body heals. But over
right.
time, it's healed, and now we're just left with the scar, right? Um,
Ooh.
and so it's like it's the
Ooh.
same thing with healing these wounds. It's like there is no more healing after a while. Now it's just straight unlearning all of this stuff that we learned to survive.
Mm.
And that can take much longer than my 10-week program.
Much longer. And that's when they come to me. That's where, honest, God is my witness. That's when they come to
Yes,
me, and I'll
yes,
start the unlearning process, or as I call it, interrupting the pattern and starting a new program. See, we operate off a program. Our subconscious programming is the program we've been operating off of. It's the thing I always tell people. Um, your subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your actions.
yeah,
So we operate just off a program. And
yeah,
what we have to do is rewrite the program.
yeah,
Because if you were told by mom and them your whole life that you were never going to be anything, that program is embedded in your hard drive.
yep,
That's embedded. And the only way is we have to rewrite the hard drive and over again till we rewrite it. And that's the process. That's when I come in. So they come to you, and you do a wonderful job, and then they come to me, and that helps make the person whole. So I love it. Somebody asked this question. Latanya says, are you covering the Johnny Depp case? Have you looked at that?
no, oh, wait a minute, I heard about
The
that
actor
case
and
though.
the lady that he's with. I haven't really looked at it a lot, but I heard a lot of these things we talking about could be in there. So I don't really know it. I've been working so much on what I do. I haven't really kept up with that kind of stuff. I didn't know if you had or anything, because you're in Cali, so I didn't know.
No, but you know what? It's, I mean, thinking about, people who may, because, there's a lot of codependent people. Tina Turner was codependent.
Yes.
Janet Jackson's codependent. Some people even say Will Smith is codependent. I
They
don't know.
say. Wait, hold on. I know you sweet now. Step
I
back.
don't know.
Back up. Back up. Really? He codependent? Yes. I believe he's codependent. I do. And I'm gonna tell you something. Let me ask you this: do codependent do things that they normally would not do for the approval of the other person?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And I believe Will Smith, and I've talked about this. I think what you saw was a culmination of not only emasculation, codependency. I think you saw him, because the truth is that's not what we saw. Is not who he is. I think what you saw was a result of all that he's been through, or he's allowing himself to go through. And that brings me to the next question, Tanisha. When a codependent breaks, like Will Smith did, what happens?
When the codependent breaks, we usually see depression, anger, sadness, just an inability to, they don't have any desire to do anything for themselves or other people.
Wow. What advice? What advice would you give a person who's listening tonight, right? And they're codependent, and they've heard you, and they're saying, you know what, my relationship is not really healthy. It is not really healthy. And after listening to this podcast, I realized that this isn't healthy for me. What would you tell them to do? Obviously, they can reach out to you, and we're gonna get to that. Listen, we're gonna tell them, because you're doing a tour. We're gonna tell
Yes.
them how they can all, if you're specialists in what, 6 cities?
Yeah, five cities.
5 cities, y'all. If you're in Houston, right? Houston.
Houston, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Oakland, or Los Angeles.
All right, if you're in one of those cities, Houston, Oakland, Atlanta, Brooklyn, or Los
Los
Angeles.
Angeles. Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles. Y'all need to come see her. Listen, because y'all need to listen, y'all. Let's stop playing and acting like everything is good. Yeah, Deborah. See, Deborah's in Houston. Yes, we coming to
Okay.
Houston. What's the date? What's the date for Houston?
Houston is July 9th.
July 9th.
Yeah,
Yo,
Saturday,
uh,
July 9th.
and tell the people how they can connect with you. Tell them how they can connect with you.
So I'm TJ Self Care under Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok and YouTube. You can
DJ
go to,
Self Care under
yeah,
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok.
and
Uh,
TikTok.
yes. Uh,
Good. And you're gonna have information about what you're doing.
Yes, if you go to tjselfcare.com. Oh, I should have said that first. So the same 5 steps that I gave you is actually a free ebook that I created.
Oh,
If you go to tjselfcare.com, they can get the ebook, and it also has some questions in there as well for you to answer and journal about. I'm interested.
tjselfcare.com. Hold on, let me see if I can do my banner. Like I be trying this new stuff.
Oh,
Hold
look
on, hold
at
on, hold on.
you.
Check me out, check me out. Hold on. Let me create this new one. All right. Okay, edit. All right. TJ www.
Okay. Uh-huh.
All right. I'm gonna do this. Hold on. TJ self-care.
.com.
I.com on them. I watch it right here. TJselfcare.com. Watch it right here. Boom. Okay, let me get this. Now what? Watch that.
Ooh, that is nice. I love it. Look at you.
Y'all
Oh,
see me? Y'all see me? Look, hey, go to her website. She's got a free questionnaire. And if you feel like you have any questions, you can reach out to her. So I got a couple other questions. Here's one. Do you mostly get women or men?
I mostly get women. I have coached men, but not as many men as I would like to. Um, Coaching men is a wonderful experience, has been a wonderful and eye-opening experience too.
Okay. When do
Yeah.
guys come to you? Because guys come to me, but like I coach a lot of women, but my clients are just as many men, but they contact me privately,
Gotcha.
and I understand that because I get it. And so my question is, when a man comes to you, what's his issues?
Guys generally come to me when things have fallen apart. So I've coached about maybe 8 men, and with all 8 men, it was something tragic, like
Mm,
divorce, loss of job, finances. It's like completely rock bottom, and they're like, I need somebody to talk to. And as we're talking, it's coming out that okay, they do struggle with people pleasing and codependency, which is so, it's just so sad to me. I want to make sure I word this correctly. I would like to get an opportunity to coach more men because I did not realize how much men internalize
yes,
their emotions
yes.
and pain, and it looks like the depression comes out looking like anger, but it's really not anger. It's just that that's the emotion that is most most shown from society, most respected by society. It's like when a man is angry, like he's this macho man, and I think sometimes we don't see the emotions behind the anger, you know.
And many times, men, we have been taught from a young age, don't share your emotions. You a little bitch if you talk about it. If you cry. And I tell people, listen, y'all, we are creating a society of men who are emotionally incapable because we've been taught not to be. And then we don't ask for help and we deal with it ourselves. And then a man, you see him and then he end up killing himself and you wonder why. I thought everything was good. I thought he was good. And what I'm telling men is this. I'm telling men it's okay to say I need help. When they come to me, I'm like, bruh, cry. Listen, there have been many times I'm gonna let go
Let
some
it out.
tears. Now you might not see it, but I'm gonna let them go because I need to release that.
Right.
Especially, you're right, Sydney, especially in the Black culture.
Yes.
Especially because we've had to be so strong because of oppression and all of these things where we want to, because society beating the hell out of you. So when you were young, my mom was telling me, be strong, don't cry, stand up. And so all of these things that I remember, so I was taught sharing my emotion. Yeah, man, you soft. Sharing my emotion was not a good thing. And so many men are running around like that and they're internalizing it. And not only is it hurting them emotionally, but physically, that it manifests itself into physical form, physical ailments, blood pressure, diabetes, all of that. Have you noticed that part?
Yes, I have. And a lot of times it gets ignored by, their spouses or significant other, which was more disheartening to hear because it's like, well, where do you go as a man? Where do you go now for support?
Wow.
If you can't emotionally rely on, the your partner, it's like, well, what are you supposed to do? And it makes a lot of sense. I know hopefully a lot of women don't bash me for this, but I understand the
Tell
cheating
the damn
now.
truth.
I understand the cheating because it's like, as women, we are that man's, like, his emotional support, to tap into. And so when we cut that off, he needs that in order to show up in the world and provide and protect like he's being asked to do. And so it made a lot of sense why the cheating took place because he's not getting his needs met, you know.
Boy, and look, and I know you're not condoning it. You just telling the
No,
damn
I'm not
truth.
condoning
Let me tell you something.
it.
What's happening is, I was telling a group about it. I did a TikTok live where I talked about his needs, her needs. That book, the book is powerful. It's an older book, but what happens is when a person, there are 10 basic emotional needs, And when our needs go unmet for so long, I was telling a couple today, I said, do you know marriage is a contract? Now, whether you verbalize this or not, I'm not talking about the marriage license. I'm talking about it's a contract that you said. When I said I do, but what you didn't say was I'm gonna meet your damn needs. I said I'm gonna meet your emotional needs. Your whatever your top, that's why I say, what are their top three needs? And most people don't know. And I said, well, listen, fine, let's find out, because when people fall out of love, what they're saying is really they fall out of love because my needs aren't being met.
Being met, yeah. Yeah.
It's deep, y'all. It's deep. It is
It's
deep.
deep.
And
Yeah.
I don't want to go into all of that. But thank you for saying that men need help. And and a lot of times we all get caught up in our stuff. I mean, I talk shit to women, I talk shit to men. I'm gonna tell everybody the truth. I mean, and a lot of people don't want to hear it because it triggers them
Yeah.
because they're wounded too. And
Yeah.
so what you don't want to hear, you a lot of people just want to hear it's their fault.
Yeah.
It's their fault. Yeah, it's their fault. When I say, well, no, well, I said, well, no, everything is not their fault. We all have to take responsibility and some accountability for what we do. So,
Yes.
I get it.
And
I get
that's how we know we've healed, Ken. That first question that you asked me, like how the advice I would give, to anyone listening or watching is you have to be mindful that physically you may be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, but until you do your healing work, you are still the same age of that wounded child emotionally. And
wow.
that's the person that's showing up, that's making decisions, that's the behavior that you see, that's what's manifesting. And so the job of a person who struggles with people pleasing is to get yourself emotionally the same age that you are physically. And you can only do that by being patient with yourself and doing the work. That's the only way that's going to
Mm.
happen.
Wow, amazing. Anybody out there got questions for Tanisha? Tanisha is a self care and a codependency coach. She helps you heal the wounds of your heart. What have you learned along the way, Tanisha? What would you say? The thing that you learned the best lesson you've learned.
The best lesson I've learned is to love myself. I'm 38. I just started loving myself when I was 33 years old.
Mm.
And I didn't know how to do it at first because I was so focused on other people for so long. But once I started, it was just great. And I'm finally at a place now like where I'm dating, and I'm just so thankful because it's like these men are getting a whole nother version of who I used to be.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I owe you. I'm scared to see it. What was the old you like?
I was never one of those women that had a lot of erratic behavior, but I was very like people please. I was very like controlling. I will say that. Um,
Okay. Oh, you
you know,
controlling type.
I was
Okay.
I was very controlling, and it was subtle control. It was stuff like, "Oh, I want us to go on this trip, so I'm gonna pay for it, and then I'm gonna tell you when you need to be there, and then we going shopping together because I want to wear matching outfits so that we can post them on social media."
Yeah, she said we gonna wear matching outfits.
I was that kind of control, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Um, Someone said, let's see, Lakeisha has a question. She says, I have a question. If you told your ex to go his way and he keeps calling, what say you?
it's time to set boundaries.
Okay. Time to set boundaries. I'm gonna offer something too. If he keeps calling, you told him to go away, what he's doing when he keeps calling, that's a form of control too. He wants to know how much control, how much leverage he still has in the relationship. If you still doing some of the same thing you've always been doing, then you know what? He still got it.
He still, yeah,
He
it's
knows it.
that control, yeah.
Um, Coach, are you taking new clients? Is that me, Michelle, or is that Tanisha? Me, I don't think I'm taking any more new clients. I just started last week.
Not,
I don't take but 11 clients a year now, but I am doing group coaching. But what I will tell you is if you talk about me or Tanisha, you can book a discovery session and we can talk about what happens next. Tanisha, are you taking new clients?
I am taking new clients.
Okay.
Yes,
Tanisha
I
is
am
taking new
taking.
clients, y'all. You can reach out. Y'all see the website that I got going across the bottom? That's her website. Reach out to her because she is dope as hell. For real, for real. She's dope as hell.
Yeah,
Um,
you are too.
you listen, I just believe that somebody needs to say what people are thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm not about dehumanizing anybody. That's not my style. My style is to uplift everybody, but also to tell you the truth in the process. My coach told me the damn truth, and I
Yeah.
was like, but I'm much better off for it. Any coach that don't has never had a coach, I would be like, hmm.
Don't know
So
about that.
yeah, dog. I'd be like, okay, but okay. So let me ask you this. Um, you work with men, you work with ladies. Do you ever work with children?
I do. So at my 9 to 5, I only work with, well, I work with children, well, low income families, yeah, who have children from 0 to 5.
How do you work with children who have to go back into that environment?
It's difficult. I mean, the job I have, most of the time, they don't leave the environment unless something detrimental has happened. Sometimes that's not good either because you just watch somebody be, you know, not emotionally, not treated fairly, and not responding to the cues. And it's just deep, man. A big part of healing is really like regulating our nervous system. And
Wow.
that
Explain
requires,
explain that. Explain that.
it's like that requires stuff that as adults we don't do. It's like being in tune with your own self, or when you're hungry, do you feed yourself? Are you
Wow.
breathing correctly? When you're thirsty, do you take time to drink water? Even on down to how do you bathe yourself? When you're in the shower, are you rushing? It's like all of that is teaching your nervous system that you're not important. Like those are the lessons that we got growing up that we need to break as adults. I never thought about it. When I went to therapy, my therapist was like, "What's your morning routine?" And I was like, "I'm up, I'm making the bed, I burn my little candle, I do this, I take my shower, I do this." And she was like, "So you don't just get up and just kind of take a deep breath?" And she was like, "Do you even like smell the lotion before you put it on your body, or are you just
Dang.
slapping it on?" I was like, "Wow, I never thought about that." And she was like, "You treat yourself
I
similar
need to
to
stop getting up looking at my damn phone. I look at,
yeah, you
did I
get up
get any
looking
new followers today? I mean, what the hell's wrong with me? You
right."
know?
I'm like, "Oh wow,
You know what? Me and you gonna talk behind the scenes. I need some damn self care, y'all. And don't get it twisted. I do take care of myself, but I can do better. I want
yeah,
to do better. I want to be better. You know what? I mean, I want to be better. That's why I go to the gym in the morning. I pray and stuff in the mornings. But I want to be better. And that's. Cindy said, Tanisha, how do you insulate yourself as a therapist from all the trauma you encounter with your clients?
that's a good one." So right now, my position is considered to be associate clinical social worker because I'm getting my therapeutic hours. Um, and one of the benefits of that is I have weekly sessions with a licensed therapist every week to help me not only better support my clients, but kind of debrief from what I'm experiencing with the client.
Oh,
Um,
that's deep. You got to
and
go
that has
through it.
been great because it really does help me show up as a better clinician, not feeling like I have to carry, my clients' burdens on me, but versus help them work through it. So that's been really nice.
Wow, that's deep. All right. I ain't gonna hold you all night. Now I could be asking all kind of questions. So what would you like to leave the people with? What would you like to tell them? Um, Just leave them with whatever you want to.
I first just want to tell them that continue to be on your show. I'm going to be watching your show because I am just now learning the power of really getting information from the male perspective. So many things that we bring into our relationships as women, I don't think we understand that men think completely different. And I would even dare say they think more simplistic than
Oh
we
no,
do.
no, they do. You don't have to say it. I'll say it. They think it doesn't mean it's not even right or wrong though. So we get into this moral judgment. It's just different.
It's
And
different.
if you
Yeah.
understand how they're processing information, which that's what I'm teaching people, then all of a sudden, but a lot of people get triggered because they don't process information that way. So they're wondering or getting mad at him for processing that way.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So I would tell them to stay in settings like this because we deserve that. As women and men, it's like to just allow someone else to pour into us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because a big part of healing is the nurturing part. And so it's like being in spaces like this is nurturing. Doing things that you love is nurturing, and it's like once we start to develop that type of relationship with ourselves, that's when you'll see that you're less triggered because you're taking care of yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanisha. I appreciate you. Listen, she got the tour coming up. She's going to be in Houston. She's going to be in LA, Atlanta. She's going to
Yes.
be in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn in the house.
Yes.
All right.
Brooklyn,
Wow.
yes.
You know what? I'm jealous of you going on tour. I like that though. I'm going on tour one of these days too.
You should. This is my first one. I've never done this before, so it's gonna be it's interesting. It's
I think the
interesting to say
world,
the
the
least. Learning.
world.
I'm learning a lot. I'm
That's
excited.
cool. The world needs you. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Listen, I'm gonna reach out to you so we can do that little test on me, the little
Yes,
yeah,
please
yeah.
do. I would
Let's
love
do
to.
that. All right. Hey, Sydney says she's gonna see you in Brooklyn. All right,
Yes,
Brooklyn gonna be
please
lit.
do.
Okay. Well, we gonna see. Hey, listen, you guys connect with Tanisha, TJ Self Care on all of the platforms.
Yes.
Follow her. All right. She is dope. Her spirit is wonderful. And y'all, thank you so much, Tanisha. I appreciate you. And look, we'll talk soon. And I'm gonna give them one parting word, and we out of here. All right, baby. Take
Okay.
care. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ken.
All righty.
You guys have a great night.
All right, y'all. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I will say this. Now, listen, I would like for you, if you are not a subscriber on my YouTube channel at Coach Ken Canion, please go and binge watch. I got 200 videos. I want you to binge. I got all kinds of stuff. Y'all, I'm building my YouTube channel, and I want you to be a part of that. Please go subscribe. And go subscribe to my YouTube channel, y'all. And I'm growing on it too. I'm growing. I am going. Eugenia said, "Where can I find nice men?" Stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you where. We're gonna talk about all of that. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Latanya's on YouTube. Chanel's on YouTube. If you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, go to Coach Ken Canion. Subscribe. And look, share it. Also, binge watch. Got a lot of good content over there. That's my time, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Wasn't Tanisha dope? Wasn't she just dope, y'all? Her spirit. And then she know what the hell she talking about. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm Coach Ken, a.k.a. the doctor. Remember, every journey starts with one step. One step. Take yours today. Peace.